What do you get when you use a welder? A hammer and a little bit of imagination. Custom Jeep parts, that's what. So the story I'm about to tell you dates back about 3 years. And it all started with, I don't know if I can put a sticker on this thing because of the fenders. You can imagine my frustration because the first year I owned this Jeep, they put a sticker on it, no problem. And honestly, it shouldn't even have passed that year because let's just say it was a little bit sketch. See, when we bought this Jeep, it wasn't roadworthy. But anyway, back to the story. See, we bought this Jeep and it had aftermarket fenders on it. Let's see if I can do this without spilling. Probably not. All right. So anyway, we bought the Jeep and we didn't really have an opinion on the fenders. They were what they were. It wasn't a new Jeep. We knew it. We got the thing roadworthy. We brought it, got a sticker the first year, no issues. The second year is when we got the, I don't know if we can put a sticker on it thing. He left a sticker on it, which was nice. We came home and I put these rubber fender strips on with some Tech screws and went back down and got a sticker. I wasn't really in love with those rubber makeshift fender flares, but I got my sticker and again, it is what it is. So over the winter, I decided that I was going to make those fender flares maybe a little more presentable and maybe a little more permanent than temporary. So I bought some ABS plastic and I made these. These fender flares were ABS plastic and they looked a little bit better than the rubber, but again, I wasn't really happy with them. So last summer I started looking at the fenders and man, I just wasn't happy with them. I mean, it's not a show Jeep by any stretch. It's an old beat up TJ, but I just didn't like the way it looked. And then when I looked to see what the price was on some OEM fenders, ooh, that just didn't make any sense to spend that kind of money on this Jeep for that purpose. If it was mechanical, I wouldn't have had an issue with it, but aesthetically, it just didn't make any sense. So I got to thinking about how I could maybe make them a little more permanent and maybe give them a little bit of style and maybe make it my own. And so I decided I was going to make my own version of flat fenders. You know, kind of like a Willys flat fender, but not really. I get this synthetic oil from O'Reilly's. Well, I run it in here and I run it in my tractor. Just for the record, I haven't spilled a drop yet. Just to prove to you I didn't spill a drop. Look at that. No oil was harmed in the making of this video. What about the beard? You might be asking yourself about the beard or lack thereof. Each spring we do fit testing at the fire department, and this was a couple days ago, so that's why I don't have a beard. It's coming back though. I might keep it short for the summer. Perfect. 6 quarts if you need to know. 5/8 wrench on the oil pan. All right, so here's my version of a flat fender. Looks something like this. Not necessarily happy with the paint, but it's okay. It's supposed to be flat, but it's more of like a satin, whereas this rear flare over here is definitely a flat. Okay, did they come out perfect? No, but then again, I'm not perfect and neither is this Jeep. So what I did is I left the aftermarket fenders on, and you can see the weld mark here. All I did was grind this down and paint it. There's no Bondo in here, there's no nothing. So just a quick and dirty job. I took and traced out the aftermarket fender and I added this little piece here to it. I welded it on and then, like I said, ground it down and painted it. The metal that we used was scrap metal, and I cut it out, traced it out by hand, cut it out with a jigsaw, and welded it with my Harbor Freight titanium MIG welder. I didn't have a brake, so I 045 cutoff wheel and scored the metal and then bent it by hand. That's my version of a custom one-off, knockoff, whatever you want to call it, TJ flat fender wannabe front fenders. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. You're better than most. Thanks for watching.